Your body does all sorts of things that you don't have to think about. From blinking to making new skin cells, you can trust your body to take care of business. Even while you busy thinking about what you going to make for dinner tonight or trying to figure out what show to watch next. Your body does a lot of amazing stuff without you even realizing it. We've already made a video about some interesting facts about the human body, but there are so many more fascinating tidbits to share with you. So here are 10 more crazy facts about the human body you never knew you needed. You might think your nose is just one thing, but believe it or not, there are actually 2 separate noses in your face. If you look at the front view of your face, you can see one nose sitting between your eyes. But when you look at your face from above, you can see 2 distinct nostrils separated by a wall. Each nostril is its own individual nose with its own cartilage, muscles, blood vessels, and nerves. The 2 noses work together to help you smell and breathe. When you inhale, air passes through both of your nasal passages, which are lined with tiny hairs that filter out dirt and other debris. Once the air is clean, it hits the olfactory epithelium, a layer of tissue in each nose that contains millions of scent receptors. These receptors send signals to your brain so you can identify smells like freshly cut grass, lavender, perfume, or stinky garbage. Speaking of smelly stuff, do you ever wonder how your armpits get so stinky? Well, it has everything to do with the bacteria living in your sweat. You have millions of sweat glands in your armpits, which release a clear liquid called sweat onto your skin. Sweat is mostly water, but it also contains small amounts of salt, urea, electrolytes, and proteins. All of those things sound pretty normal, right? Well, once they start mixing with the bacteria living on your skin, the smell starts to set in. There are thousands of different types of bacteria living on your body, and they all break down the components of sweat in slightly different ways. Some bacteria break down the salt in your sweat, and others focus on the proteins. This creates a whole host of different odors. Interestingly, everyone's bacteria are different, which is why some people have stinkier armpits than others. Oh, well, at least you know now that your armpit smell is just the result of friendly bacteria doing their thing. Most people are born with 6 toes on each foot and 6 fingers on each hand. That may be hard to imagine if you only have 5 fingers and 5 toes, but early in fetal development, you actually had extra digits. Around week 28, your hand and foot bones started to develop, but shortly after, those bones fused together. As a result, most people end up with 1 big toe and 1 smaller toe on each foot, along with 5 fingers on each hand. But sometimes the bones in your hands and feet don't fuse together properly, which means you'll have more than 5 fingers or toes. About 1 in 300 people have an extra finger or toe, and 1 in 2 million people have an extra thumb. Polydactyly is usually a cause for concern unless the extra digits interfere with daily activities like writing or typing. In that case, doctors can remove the extra digits. You've probably noticed that fingerprints are unique to each person. But did you know that your tongue print is also unique? Your tongue has a lot of bumpy protrusions that are called papillae. These populi contain the taste buds that allow you to savor the flavors of pizza, ice cream, and your mom's famous spaghetti. There are different shapes and sizes of populi all over your tongue, and each populose has a different arrangement of taste buds. All of these factors combine to make your tongue print truly one of a kind. Scientists are still working on figuring out how they can use tongue prints to identify people. After all, they don't have to worry about people covering up their tongue or switching it out for someone else's, so tongue prints could be used to verify a person's identity at airports or to keep people from sneaking into age-restricted clubs. You might think hiccups are annoying, but they're actually a sign that your diaphragm is working. Hiccups happen when your diaphragm and vocal cords spasm repeatedly. Even though hiccups are totally normal, doctors aren't entirely sure what causes them. They seem to occur most often when there's some sort of irritation in the stomach or chest, which could be caused by eating or drinking too fast or overeating. Hiccups can also be triggered by certain medications, surgery, or nerve irritation. Most of the time, hiccups go away on their own within a few days. But if they last longer, doctors can treat them with a variety of methods, such as breathing exercises or a shot of medication. If you live in the Northern Hemisphere, there's a good chance that you've seen the Northern Lights, also known as the polar lights or aurora borealis. These beautiful displays of light occur when charged particles from the sun enter the Earth's atmosphere and interact with molecules of oxygen and nitrogen. When this happens, the molecules become excited and release energy in the form of light. Depending on the molecule, the light can be different colors. The most common colors are green and red, but you can also see shades of blue, purple, and white. The lights are most commonly seen in northern latitudes, but they can occur as far south as Florida and Texas. So if you live in the continental U.S., you might be able to catch a glimpse of the northern lights someday. You probably didn't think much about your jaw until you watched a movie about T-Rex and realized you only have one. Yep, as ridiculous as it sounds, humans only have one jawbone. It's actually part of your skull, and it's connected to your ear bones, eye sockets, and upper teeth. The lower jawbone is technically a separate bone called the mandible, but it fuses with the rest of your skull after you're born. Some animals, such as snakes, lizards, and turtles, have multiple jaws. Sometimes, these jaws aren't attached to the skull at all, and they move independently. Imagine if you had a second jaw that was free to move around your head. It would be kind of scary, right? You may think of the brain as one giant organ, but it's actually made up of several parts. One of the main parts is the cerebellum, which sits at the back of the brain. The cerebellum is responsible for coordinating muscle movement, maintaining balance, and keeping your posture upright. It also plays a role in cognitive functions like attention and language processing. You can tell a lot about a person's health just by looking at their eyes. If you visit your doctor, they will shine a light into your pupils to see how they react. This test is a quick way to check your brain's neurological function. Normally, when light is shined into your eye, your pupils should constrict. But if they don't, it could be a sign that your cerebellum or another part of your brain isn't working properly. There are lots of factors that can affect how long you live, such as genetics, lifestyle, and access to health care. But one surprising factor is where you live. Believe it or not, where you call home can affect your life expectancy. People who live in the southeastern states of the U.S. tend to die earlier than people who live in other regions. On average, residents of Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana die about 3 years earlier than the national average. And the reasons why aren't entirely clear. Research suggests that poverty, poor diet, and limited access to healthcare may all play a role. Fortunately, as these issues are addressed, life expectancies in the Southeast should increase. Now it's time to test your knowledge with a quick quiz. Which part of the body contains millions of scent receptors? What type of bacteria break down the salt in your sweat? How many toes did you have in the womb? Leave your answers in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another fun science video. Thanks for watching.